Hello students, welcome to our YouTube channel Innovative Chemistry. So today we are going to perform the test of halogens, and many times question asked from these tests, just like as test from chloride, test from bromide and test from iodide. So their test is very important. So without any delay, let's start how to identify, how to perform the test of halogens. So we have three halogens over here. First is our chloride. So for the chloride, I have taken sodium chloride salt because chloride is there in that. So I have taken a small portion, a small amount of sodium chloride into this china dish. So this is our sodium chloride. Another halide we have, it is sodium bromide. It is also a alkali halide. So we have a sodium bromide also. And now we have potassium iodide. So this is our third halide. It is potassium iodide. So three types of halide with us. One is chloride salt, bromide salt and iodide in the solution form. All are metallic halides. Now for the identification, for the elementary identification of these halides, we need one reagent, that is conc sulfuric acid. All these halides in the analytical chemistry comes in concentrated H2SO4 group. So that's why they all identified, their elementary identification is done with the help of concentrated sulfuric acid. As well as not only this, we required some other reagents also. These are ammonium hydroxide solution, NH4OH, silver nitrate solution. The formula of silver nitrate is AgNO3, or lead acetate. So here I already prepared lead acetate solution. It is a aqueous solution of lead acetate. I prepared it by dissolving 1 spatula of lead acetate into 60 ml of water. And we have distilled water as well. The apparatus that we need for performing this test is our test tube holder, test tubes, spatula, gas passing tube, last but not the least our glass rod. So these are the apparatuses that we use to perform the test of halogens. So let's start. So first of all, I'll perform the test with chloride. So here my test tube is ready. This is the china dish is with me. So I have already taken a small amount of Tata salt in this china dish. So I am taking this chloride salt into the test tube. So as you have seen, I have taken a small amount of chloride salt into the test tube. Now after this, I am going to mix a drop of concentrated sulfuric acid into the test tube. Always remember, I told you earlier also, whenever we introduce any acid in any salt, first of all you introduce 1 drop or 2 drop along the wall of the test tube. So now I am introducing this along the wall of the test tube. So here you can see some reaction is taking place and some invisible gas is evolving. So this gas is chlorine gas. To identify this gas, I am taking this glass rod. Here I have a bottle of ammonium hydroxide. Now I dip this glass rod into the ammonium hydroxide and bring it on the mouth of the test tube. Now you can see dense white fumes are evolving. These dense white fumes are of ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride is a sublimate compound, so that's why you can see its dense white fume. Sublimate compounds are those compounds, either they are present in the gaseous form or in the solid form. So as soon as I bring the rod which is dipped in ammonium hydroxide, you can see the dense white fume. Okay, so this is, by this way we identify the gas which is evolving from this test tube is our chlorine gas. The chlorine gas is evolved by the chloride salt. So this is the first investigation, elementary investigation, to identify whether chloride is present or not. Now I have to do the confirmatory test. For the confirmatory test, I need to take another test tube. My test tube is ready. Now you can see in this test tube enough reaction taking place. So to stop the reaction, I am just diluting the solution by introducing the water. Now solution is dilute and no more reaction will take place. Okay. Now my test tube is ready. In this test tube again I am taking a small amount of chloride salt. This is for the confirmatory test. So for the confirmatory test we need one reagent, that is silver nitrate solution. Okay. So here with me another test tube, a new test tube. Now in this test tube I am taking silver nitrate solution. So you can see here silver nitrate solution is there in the test tube. I have taken a small portion, a small amount of silver nitrate into the test tube. Okay, so here with me two test tube. In one test tube I have taken silver nitrate solution. Another test tube, which is along with the holder, I have taken chloride salt. Now I am introducing the concentrated sulfuric acid again in the test tube. Very small portion of sulfuric acid I am introducing and fix gas tube on that, and the end of gas tube I am introducing into the silver nitrate solution. So as you can see, gas is going into the silver nitrate solution, and when this gas is going, it reacts with the silver nitrate and you can see white precipitate is coming. So in the test tube there is the chlorine gas. When chlorine gas reacts with silver nitrate solution, there is a white precipitate. You can see this is a white precipitate, and this white precipitate is of silver chloride. So this is the chlorine gas which is evolving from this test tube. When this chlorine gas is going and coming out and react with the silver nitrate, then our silver nitrate turns curdy white. This curdy white thing is the silver chloride, and you can see it here, and it starts sedimenting also. Okay, now again I am going to dismantle this. In order to stop the furthermore reaction, I am going to dilute it. Make sure acid is there in the test tube. Whenever you dilute it, be very careful, because when acid reacts with the water, it may happen that acid comes up. So you should be very careful by diluting any acid. Okay, so this is how we confirm our chloride salt. So here you can see this is the silver chloride which is sedimented over here. So this silver chloride is the identification or is the confirmation for the chloride salt. So this is how we identify our chloride radical. Now after this we are going to perform the test of bromide salt. So for that I need one test tube. I am taking one test tube and fixing it with the test tube holder. So my test tube is ready. So here I am having the bromide salt. This is sodium bromide. So I am just taking a small portion of bromide salt into the test tube. So this is the bromide salt, and you can see I have taken a small portion of bromide salt into the test tube. Now as I told you, bromide salt also comes under concentrated H2SO4 group. So that's why for the elementary identification we need concentrated sulfuric acid. I am going to introduce this concentrated sulfuric acid into the bromide salt. When I mix concentrated sulfuric acid into bromide salt, reddish vapors or orangish vapors evolve. These vapors are of bromine gas. So if reddish orangish vapor comes, so it means in this salt bromide radical is present. So I just introduced a drop of acid, and now you can see reaction is taking place. I think little more amount of acid is required because less than a drop has gone into that. Yes. So now you can see reaction is taking place and some gases are evolving. Some gas is evolving, and if you see the shade of this gas is little yellowish or oranges, as you can see here in towards the bottom side. Some reaction is taking place. So now, so you can see some gases are evolving. If I heat little, because to speed up the reaction I need to heat it. So now you can see some gases are evolving, and that gas are sticks. These gases are sticks on the wall of the test tube, and the wall of the test tube is also become orangish or yellowish. This is all because of bromine gas. Okay. Now how to confirm that this is the bromine gas? This yellowish reddish gas is a bromine gas. How to confirm? Now you can see a perfect yellowish orangish color is coming. So for the confirmation, I need to take another test tube. In this test tube, I am taking a small amount of silver nitrate solution. This is our silver nitrate solution. Now I have this test tube. Reaction is already taking place. Now in this test tube, I am fixing the gas passing tube. Because these gases are very pungent, so it's better use mask while performing these tests. Otherwise, you also have cough just like as me. So always remember, it's a good teaching for you also. Always remember, when you perform the test with the bromide, chloride and iodide, it's better you take the mask. So now you can see reaction is taking place in the test tube, and from this test tube the bromine gas is evolving, and when I introduce this bromine gas into the silver nitrate solution, you can see silver nitrate solution converts into yellowish white color. It's pale white color. You can see a color is coming over here. This is all because of the silver bromide. So this silver bromide, this pale white color or off-white color, it's because of the silver bromide. If I introduce more gas, this pale white color converted into yellowish color, light yellow color. If I introduce more gas, this solution converted into yellowish color. Now you can see yellowish color is appearing, light yellowish color is appearing into the test tube. I am going to keep it. Now I am just dismantling it because enough smoke is coming, so I need to dilute it. Because if I will not dilute it, then what will happen? Enough smoke will produce and it's difficult for me to perform the further test. So this is the chloride and bromide. Now if I show you the difference, here in my right hand, I have chloride salt, and this is the silver chloride. In my left hand, I have a residue of the bromine gas. It is silver bromide. Now you can see the difference. This is absolutely white and this is yellowish white. Absolutely perfect chalky white, but this is dull in color. Little yellow shade is there. So that's why the color of silver chloride, this is the silver chloride AgCl, its color is chalky white, curdy white, and the color of silver bromide is yellowish white or yellow, you can say, or you can also write light yellow, because in many books it's written the color of silver bromide is light yellow. The light yellow color you can also write. So you can easily see the difference between the silver chloride and silver bromide. Now we have a third halogen with us. This is the iodine. So here we have taken potassium iodide solution. So for that I need one test tube. I am taking this test tube, fixing this test tube into the test tube holder, and I am just taking few drops of potassium iodide into the test tube. So some amount of potassium iodide has come in my test tube. Now it also comes in concentrated sulfuric acid group. So that's why they all identified by the concentrated sulfuric acid group. So for the elementary identification, I need the same acid. Now I am going to introduce concentrated sulfuric acid. So as I introduce, you can see some reaction is taking place and my solution is changing its color. If I heat a little, when I heat it, iodine gas will evolve. So when you heat it, you should be very, very careful. When I heat it, iodine gas will evolve, and the color of iodine vapors or iodine gas is also is the violet color. So, but you need to be very, very careful when you heat it, because concentrated acid is there and potassium iodide is also a very active compound. So just see, when I heat it, what will happen? Immediately, maybe possible, solution will come out with a jerk. So you can see now violet vapors comes over here. If I heat more, you can see more. So violet vapors are evolving. Just try to check it. Violet vapors, a shade of violet vapors is evolving. This violet vapor is of iodine. This violet vapor is of iodine. So I need to check it. So be very, very careful. As I am going to hit it, you can see it just a shoot. It goes in the roof also. So be very, very careful when you heat this thing, because acid is there in that. Okay. Now I have to clean my hand also. These types of things also happening in the practical when you are performing. Okay. Now I am taking another test tube for the confirmation of the iodide, whether iodine is present or not. Okay. Now this is the test tube. In this test tube, I am taking a small amount of potassium iodide solution, because sometimes the violet color gas comes that's very light in shade. You cannot identify, you cannot see it. So that we need to perform the confirmatory test also. So I am just going to introduce this lead acetate here. Is with me in my right hand. It's a lead acetate solution. So if iodine is there in that, if iodide radical is there, so immediately the color change yellow, because when lead react with iodine, our yellow color appears. So this yellow color indicates the presence of iodine. So this is how our iodine is confirmed in that. So we have three halogens over here. One is chloride, bromide and iodide, and these all three halogens comes under our concentrated sulfuric acid group, and with the help of sulfuric acid we check its elementary identification, and then after we need some other reagents also to check the conformation of these radicals. Always remember, while performing these tests, you should be very, very careful. Wear all your safety gadgets, wear all your safety measurements, holder, glasses, everything. Why? Because they are highly reactive. As you have already seen, when I am performing the test of iodide, immediately there was a shoot up. Some iodide solution and sulfuric acid solution goes up, and some is spread here on the table also. So you should be very, very careful. Another thing, many questions comes from this test, from this halogens identification. These are which type of color comes when chlorine gas comes in contact with ammonium hydroxide. So as I have shown you, so is dense white fume comes, and dense white fume is of ammonium chloride. What color comes when any iodide radical react with lead acetate? Color is yellow. What color comes, and what is the difference between the lead bromide and silver chloride? So you can say this is the difference, white and yellowish white or yellowish color. So these are the differences. This is how we identify whether are halogen or halides are present or not. Many times student ask the question, what is the color of these halogen gases? In the gaseous form, if chlorine is there, so its color is greenish yellow. It's very light in shade. If it is a bromine, so it's little reddish in color. It's a iodine, so it's a violet in color. So these are the color of halogens as well in the gaseous form. I hope you learned this video and you improvise your practical skills also with the help of our channel. So please like and subscribe our channel. Thank you very much.